Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. The New York Knicks pulled it out, ladies and gentlemen. I was nervous. I can tell you that. I was real nervous from the beginning of this game. Looked like the Knicks were stuck in the mud, and we were going to get upset by another depleted team. Although we were depleted ourselves, I was a little bit afraid of what's going to happen. And if we would have lost this game, that would have been a bad loss. But you know what? We pulled it out. We did what we needed to do behind the power of RJ Barrett with a career-high 32 points. Julius Randle with his second triple-double of the season. Big games from both of them. They stepped up when we needed them to step up. I like that, and I feel good saying that, ladies and gentlemen. The OKC Thunder, they had a bunch of guys on the team that you really don't know much about. They were led by Al Horford. He had 16 points, 5 rebounds. Lugens Dort, he had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Isaiah Roby had 10 points. I'm impressed with that kid, Isaiah Roby. I am. I'm impressed with him. I thought he played well the last time we played him. He played well again today. He didn't have a lot of rebounds, but he played well. You got AP. I'm not even going to attempt to say his full name. He had 4 points, 7 rebounds. Theo Maladon, he had 10 points. Ty Jerome had 11 points. Kenrick Williams had 13 points. Justin Jackson had 10 points. A lot of guys that you don't know, but that's what the OKC Thunder is made of right now. A bunch of guys that you don't know who they are. They're just trying to make their name in the league. And of course, they traded Amadou Diallo the other day. For the Knicks, as I mentioned before, Julius Randle, he had 26 points, 12 assists, 12 rebounds for his second triple-double of the season. RJ Barrett had 32 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Emmanuel quickly had 21 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Alec Burks, he had 15 points. Reggie Bullock had 14 points. The supporting cast showed up today. Taj Gibson had 7 points and 8 rebounds. Obi Toppin, he had 4 points. Kevin Knox had 3 points. The supporting cast showed up, ladies and gentlemen, and powered the Knicks to a double-digit win over the OKC Thunder. The Knicks moved back above 500. And for the time being, they're back into the 6th spot in the Eastern Conference. Not exactly sure why they're not in the 5th spot. They got more wins than Boston. They beat Boston. I don't know why we're not in the 5th spot. I guess we'll see. Maybe it needs to update some more. Good win by the New York Knicks. Glad we were able to pull it out. Let's get to the group here. And see what everybody thinks about this game. We got Josh. We got Devon. We got Steph in the building. We got Andy. Got an all-star cast, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get this thing on and going. Andy, give me your take on the game. How you feel, man?
Yeah, I'm relieved, and I bet the Knicks players are as well. after the first quarter they showed, bro. I think that, we needed a halftime break, bro, to Thibs to round up the troops and stuff. But even in the second quarter, they started to turn around the game. Mm-hmm. But the first quarter, the OKC Thunder were hitting 75% of the shots. And I think, the Knicks players might have been a little bit shocked, like you said, about these names that were on the floor. I don't know if they didn't have the perfect scouting report even on these guys, but they made some, crazy shots, even with and ones and stuff like that. All of their shots were going in. So I think that was, that made the Knicks players a little bit shaky because they felt the pressure, like you said, that this is, a game we had to get a W to have that cushion versus the couple of games that we're going to head to. So I think, they might have, panicked a little bit, but I'm happy that we turn it around and, and get that W.
Yeah, me too. Because I was afraid that if we didn't get this win today, it was going to have a snowball effect. I really did. I was afraid if we don't get this win, it'd be a snowball. We lose to Brooklyn, lose to Philly, and then be on a 4-game slide and wondering how do we get it back. But Josh, we pulled it out. Your take, man.
RJ Barrett. R.J. Barrett, that's my biggest takeaway from this game. Not only was R.J. Barrett efficient from the field, but he also was getting to the free throw line and he was knocking down his free throws. And this is the R.J. Barrett that I've been wanting to see. This is the guy, that we've been seeing really consistent the past, since January 1st. And I think this is the type of guy he's going to have to be in order for the Knicks to make some noise in the Eastern Conference. So R.J. Barrett is the biggest takeaway from me that I take away from this game. Randle, another triple-double. That was awesome to see from him. I think first Knick in 30 years to have two of them in a season since Mark Jackson. All around great team win. We shut them down on defense. I mean, they were sloppy, but just overall a good win and a win we needed to get in order to stay relevant in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Steph, your quick take on the game?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. I'm happy with the win. Like you, I was a little concerned with the start in the first quarter. I was concerned about giving up 54 points in the first half. But any concerns I had about Randle, if this was he tired or is he just coming, back down to earth, was answered today. I'm still looking forward to seeing him against Philly in the Nets. RJ played great for us. I was most impressed with Quickly, actually. I know he can score, but to see him man that point position, he wasn't perfect, but to see him, pass the ball around, look for other people, play off the ball some, wait for the ball to come back to him before he takes the shot. I was very impressed with that. I thought his defensive effort was good as well. So this is what I would like to see from Quickly. This makes me think that maybe he can be a point guard at some point in this league if he can continue to grow like this. And there was and Frank. I'm not sure what's going on with Frank. I thought, I always see Frank as somebody who can a 3-and-D guy, steps in when there's injuries to man the point or whatever. And this was an opportunity for him to do that. He got the start and it didn't happen. He got like 5 minutes. So there's something up with Frank that this coaching staff and multiple coaching staff see that I don't necessarily see. Now, I never thought he was a starter in this league, but in a situation like this, I thought this would be time for him to get more minutes, and he's not. So I'm not quite sure, what that's about, but he may not be with the Knicks for long, just given, we're decimated and he got less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm happy. I mean, who's next? Philly is next, right?
Brooklyn's next. Brooklyn.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Brooklyn's next.
Oh, Brooklyn is next. Okay.
Yeah, Brooklyn's next.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to. I want to get Divine's take, and then we'll double back, talk about R.J. Barrett, Randle, and them two, and then get to IQ and Frank. Divine.
Hey, salute to everybody, man. Salute to the panel, to the chat. Good pregame show as well, Sam, this morning, man. That was nice. You know what, man? Good bounce back game for us, man. We needed that. We needed that after coming at that shellacking we had the other night. So it was good to see we bounced back and just one of those nights where we think we were going to go on a loser streak, but we didn't. We capped it up with a good win. I'm impressed with what I've seen with not the starting unit, but all the guys, the supporting cast, as you would say. Bullock, Burke, Quickly, them. That's what we want to see them do all year long, man. Just give Randle and RJ a little bit of support. I know it's only one game, but that's good to see. But I got to give Tibbs credit. If Obi and Frank, y'all wasn't ready, he wanted to win tonight. He's like, listen, y'all ain't giving me nothing. Y'all got to sit down. You know what I mean? And I applaud him like that, what he did tonight. You know what I mean? I hope Frank and Obi bounced back on another game. But for us tonight, I like the way he managed that game when he felt like Frank couldn't give him nothing and Obi really wasn't giving us nothing. He said, I just got to ride it for a minute, man. So it was a good bounce back win overall. Good defense effort. I love to see what I seen out there with that. And looking forward to that Brooklyn game. But it was definitely a good bounce back win for us, man. And we definitely needed that one.
Yeah, definitely needed that one. And it was powered behind R.J. Barrett playing a smooth basketball game, really smooth basketball game. Impressive. It's not much more you can say about it, but just playing impressive basketball. When you look at what he did today, R.J. Barrett, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. He also had 3 assists. He shot 57% from the field. He shot 50% from 3. He shot 71% from the free throw line. And, of course, that 32 points is his career high. He's been playing magnificent basketball, I don't know, for the last month and a half, I guess you might say, since early January or early to mid-January. He's just been playing magnificent basketball. And it really is a testament to him that he's been able to bounce back from he was in like a miserable slump earlier in the season. I don't even want to, if you want to call it a slump, I guess it was a slump, a miserable slump. Missed 21 straight 3-point shots, just playing, and you could see it was, weighing down on him a little bit. But now, he's playing with confidence. You know what I think? Where I think it changed for RJ Barrett. There was a point in the season when he was playing bad. He put together a couple of games. But what you've seen start to happen when he put together those couple of games is he didn't shoot any shot that was available. He found his spots. And I think this is what a good coaching staff does. I feel like, and this is nothing that I know, it's just what I feel from what I've seen on the floor. I feel like somebody sat down with RJ Barrett and said, look, here's the percentage that you shoot from this area on the floor. Here's the percentage that you shoot from this area on the floor. I want you to focus your energy to getting to those areas. Right? So don't just shoot the ball just because you feel like you're open right now. Get to that elbow, get to that short corner, and that's where you can pull that mid-range shot. Because we started to see him find those areas on the floor, areas where he's really comfortable, right? And for a little while, it felt like he was, he was kind of hesitant. I don't want to say hesitant, but he was thinking about getting to those areas. And we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, how it looked like he was thinking about getting to those areas. But when it became second nature for him to get to those spots on the floor, you'd see him play smoother, play more confident, and, of course, be more efficient. And I'm not going to say he's all the way there and it being second nature that he get to those spots, but it's becoming easier for him to just put the ball on the floor and find that spot. Right. And so now there's much less pressure when he shoots the ball because he's not thinking about getting to that spot. His body just takes him to that spot. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that's happening with him right now. But that's why I think it started, whoever it was that pulled him to the side and said, hey, get to these specific spots on the floor and shoot from there. And from there, I think he started shooting a lot better. Do you think, Kev, since you just joined us, is what you're seeing from RJ Barrett just straight up sustainable from what you're seeing? Or, obviously he's going to go through another stretch where, he's missing some shots. That's going to happen. He's young, and we should expect it. But do you see him, looking like, do you think he could take a huge leap in the second half? He played well against Milwaukee, at 22 points, 32 points tonight. If he could take a huge step forward in this second half of the season, it'd be a great benefit to Julius Randle. Take a lot of pressure off of him and give the Knicks what they really need. What do you think, Kev?
Well, salute to the chat. Salute to the panel. Apologize for being late. I'm up here at my brother-in-law's house and everything. So that was one of the conditions that the missus said. We're going to watch the game. Make sure that after the game, that we rush over to my brother-in-law's house. So that's why I'm late getting on here. 2, I know Uncle Fulio should not be upset at all at what RJ did tonight. He scored a career high, and the shots that he was taking were in sync, were not rushed. He looks comfortable. Yes, I do believe that this is very, very, very sustainable. That's a great take for what you said about somebody probably pulling him to the side, showing him where he's most effective. I think he's soaking in all of that advice, and you're seeing it right now. Yeah. I didn't see him take one bad shot tonight. today. I did not see him take one bad shot. He looks from the mid range to his 3-pointers are looking more fluent than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And then when he takes it in, I think he's taking whatever the defense gives him. I even like, some of his assists as well. So, liking what I am definitely liking what I'm seeing. I think the sky is the limit right now because, like you said, it's coming second nature to him, with the shots that he's making, and I'm ready to put that pressure on, not pressure, but I'm ready to put that onus on him now that I expect for him to score at least 20 and up now, because that's what the shots he's taking, he's gonna be hitting that. So yes, I do.
So you expect for him to score 20 and up every game?
Okay, 15 and up.
He's averaging that, Kev.
I mean, he's averaging that. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I say 20, but it's like, what's going to happen if he does score only like 9 or, below? And we'll say he has a bad game, but then you'll have, Uncle Fulio saying, I expect him to, be getting.
He's doing it now. He's doing it now, Kev. He's doing it now. We all know he can do it.
You're absolutely right. But yes, I'm going to go on a limb and say, yes, I do expect him to score 20. It's just the way he looks so comfortable.
Yeah.
And he does. He looks comfortable. I mean, listen, there's going to be games where he doesn't score 20. It's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, it's no doubt about that there's going to be, some bad games, by RJ Barrett. He's 20 years old. So, we're going to hit another stretch where, he can't hit the net. What I'm looking to see when he does hit that stretch, is I want to see that he continues to still have confidence in the fact that he can get to a certain spot on the floor.
Yeah.
And continue to get to his spots. Don't start doing anything crazy, but continue to get to the spots where he's comfortable. You know what I mean? And then, if he's not hitting, just, get in the gym, work extra, which I know he does, work extra on that shot in that specific area, whatever it is, to make sure, he can get back going.
Yeah, let me ask you this question. You're talking about someone pulled him aside. So would you say that an analytic, I'm probably saying it
analytic
wrong, but yeah, that's it. Probably, did all that research on him and then just gave it to the assistant coach saying like, hey, this is where RJ is most effective. And that coach is probably telling him that. I'm thinking probably Bryant probably was the one that, that told him where to shoot at and everything and presented him with that information. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And to me, I think that is how analytics should be used. All of this, plus minus. Oh yeah, this player is a -6, so he shouldn't be on the floor. To me, that doesn't really make. I just don't go with it because a lot depends on the lineups that you're with and stuff like that. I believe a good use of analytics is helping the players to understand certain things that they can do in the game. You know what I'm saying? Not just about, get this player because analytically he's right. per 36, he's this. Because it doesn't mean that in 36 minutes he's actually going to get those stats. He may start diminishing. His stats may give you diminishing returns in 13 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the proper way to use analytics is to help players understand where they can shoot, certain things they can do on the floor, certain spots where, they're most effective. I think that's the best way to use analytics, in my opinion. But everybody has their thing. But I think that's what they did with RJ Barrett here, and probably every player that's on the team.
And the other thing with that is, I don't think we really had anything like that in years past. I mean, I think Leon Rose has really made an effort to cover all bases, from the coaching staff to the management to these the A word. And I think he's covered all. I think Leon Rose is really covering all the bases. So I can see everybody's tripping, and the others. But so I still can't say it. So there you go.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We forgive you. We're gonna forgive you. Anybody else want to get in? Hey, Kev, I'm gonna mute you in the back. I'm gonna mute you and just let me know when you want to speak because you got people. Okay. All right. Cool. Go ahead, Steph.
One of the things I wanted to say about Barrett, he's shooting efficiently, but his game is efficient. He's not somebody with a lot of movement. He reminds me of Kawhi. He's going to get the ball. He's going to get to his spots. He's going to shoot it. He's going to pass it. And I love that. That's what I love about Kawhi, and that's what I love about Barrett. Not a lot of movement. Just get to your spot, do what you're going to do, make the decision, keep it moving. Today, he did a little one-on-one. I started to get a little nervous, but he did make the shot. So, hey, but I don't really think that's his game, like dribbling all around, trying to take somebody one-on-one. But he did it a few times today, and it worked.
Right. I agree because I still don't, he doesn't have the speed and the flexibility and stuff like that. But yeah, so I agree with you. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, like you said, he's looking for those spots. And when you were saying that, I pulled up RJ Barrett's shot chart, right? And from the left side on the 3-pointers, from like the 45 angle, he's shooting 52.6%. From the corner, he's shooting 51.9%.
On the left side?
But only from the left side of the court. Okay. On the right side, he's shooting 33 and 30. So, like you said, if he's going to be, playing more on the left side, it might favor his 3-point shooting. Meanwhile, when you're talking about the mid-range, he's shooting 54, on the right side of the key. Meanwhile, on the left, he's shooting 42. So, when he's on the left, he should be taking threes. When he's on the right, he should be taking mid-range jumpers. But the major difference.
And they have him starting on the right.
Yeah. But for me, the major difference is when he feels the 3-point shot is gonna fall, he has that confidence in him. When he takes that first 3-pointer and it's in, you can see that he has that, on offense, he has that, free flow and no panic mode and stuff. So, it's basically with plenty of players like that. So if you make the first 2 or 3 shots, that this is your day and you can take those shots easily.
Right. And the things that you just mentioned about him, from the left side, he shoots better, shooting the 3. From the right side, he shoots better pulling the mid-range. Those are the type of things that the coach is going to keep telling them and letting them know. And that's how you learn a basketball game. You know what I mean? It's that kind of detail. Over the past 11 games, he's averaged 19 points per game, shooting 52% from the field. And from 3, the last 11 games, I'm just going to read it off. He shot 100% from 3, then one game 33%, then 100%, 1 for 1, and then 33%. And that was on February 23rd. Since February 23rd, when he shot 33%, he shot 66.7%, 66.7%, which was 4 of 6, 50%, 2 of 4, 50%, 1 of 2, 50%, 1 of 2, 50%, 1 of 2, and today 50%, 3 of 6. That's the last 11 games. He's been doing his thing out there, man. Big shout out to RJ Barrett for that. And then of course you got Julius Randle. Who today, he had 26 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists. He shot 53% from the field, 50% from 3, 70% from the free throw line. It's his second triple-double of the season. And like Josh said earlier, he's only the second Knick, right, in however many years since Mark Jackson to get multiple in 30 years in 30 years to get multiple triple doubles in a game. So that's that's always impressive when you can break a mark like that. I mean, and maybe it says more about the Knicks, than it says about Julius Randle, but he's had the chance to have he could literally have 3 or 4 triple doubles this season. It's been a couple of times when he's been at however many points, double digits rebounds, and was at 8 or 9 assists and could have had a triple double. So he's stepped up today. Hopefully he'll continue to step up as we go against these other teams. And of course, this was a team that probably didn't do a lot of game planning for the Knicks because of who they had. Right. So, it may not have been a lot of, okay, we're able to do this and do that because they didn't have high level players out there on the floor. So we'll see what it looks like when we go against the Brooklyns and Philadelphia. But Divine, the Knicks feel like RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, I don't want to say are untouchable, but the only way that they're going to move those guys is if they're bringing in a super duper star, right? They are foundational pieces. Do you see these two as being able to, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, be able to have the type of performances that they've had today on a regular basis?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think the maturation is undeniable. I mean, like I said, in his rookie year, he went from 14 points, subpar season shooting, to his second year, and he's playing better. And he's averaging more than he did last year. To me, that's elevation, and he's progressing. And Julius Randle last year, he had just about the same number. His numbers got better. He's more consistent. So absolutely, I definitely think that you can build around them. I'm not saying they are the main pieces, but you can build around it. I think you could bring another player in there that'll complement what they're doing, and it don't even have to be a megastar. We just need another player to put with them that's consistent, on a regular basis. Next year, I think sky's the limit for New York. I think RJ Barrett, just a real quick to piggyback off him, I love his maturation. He always was confident. He never wavered. Even when he was going through his ups and downs, like we was in fire in the chat about a month ago. Nah, the brother was going through his thing. I mean, he's a pro, and he got a good foundation around him. I mean, his family, his coaches. I mean, Mike Krzyzewski down to Duke, RJ Barrett done been through this. He's been around some good people, and he got a great work ethic that's undeniable. And him and Julius Randle, that's one thing I respect them to the most. They got a good work ethic. They go hard. They come to the gym. They come to battle. They put their work in, and it's really showing up in the way they plan this year with the help of Tom Thibodeau and the rest of the coaching staff. I just think that yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing from them too. I've been liking it all season, even with RJ, because what I liked about him, even when RJ was slumping, you never seen him change his demeanor. He got down on himself. He was no, I'm going to keep firing, working. And that's what you're supposed to do. You put your work in. He put his work in, and it's really starting to show, man. And I agree with everything that you guys said, about the way the coaches tell them about this. People got to remember, RJ Barrett is a lefty, and that's the best side of his game is the left side of the floor. That's why he don't go to the right too much, because he plays off the left side of the floor a lot. So I think it's Tom Thibodeau and them telling him, listen, go to that left side. That's where your sweet spots are at. And I think he's listening, he's taking the heat, and he's doing it, and it's really showing up in the stats. So I'm excited about that. And I definitely do think the question that, next year, he's going to go up to 20 points, to 14, 17, 20. He's going to take that maturation because he's built like that. He's the guy that puts in work on and off the season to get himself better since he was a young kid in high school. So I don't see nothing changing. I think he's going to elevate himself.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Cornerstone, because I wanted to get to you to the next question, but I'll let you jump in there.
Yeah, real quick. I think RJ right now is the first first young player that we've gotten from his rookie year that is really accelerating. You look at Frank, you look at Knox. I'll throw Mitch in there, with RJ a little bit as well. But you see the maturation of RJ starting. And like Divine said, next year, I think he will average almost 20 a game as well. So yeah, you're just seeing. It's great to see one of our rookies he's not a rookie no more, but how he's progressing. So that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Okay, Kev. Now let's get the IQ. All right, let's get the IQ a little bit, because IQ, Frank Ntilikina. First, let's talk about Frank, since I got Kev. Since I'm talking to Kev.
He muted himself.
All right, yeah, I know he muted himself. I think he did it on purpose. Frank Ntilikina started the game. He was the starting point guard. Right, he played 5 minutes, something like that tonight, and then he was yanked. Picked up 2 fouls and he was yanked. And then we didn't see Frank Ntilikina for the remainder of the game until, I guess, the end.
Garbage.
Right? And when you look at his stats, he played 7 minutes. He took 1 shot. He had 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 personal fouls. Frank, okay. Kev, listen, I love you, my brother. I do. I love Frank Ntilikina, but it just doesn't seem like it's working. Don't seem like it's going to work with Tom Thibodeau here right now. I don't know what it is that he doesn't like about Frank, but it doesn't look like it's going to work.
Yeah, okay, a couple of things. One, I did not get to see him in the game. I didn't see like the first, I guess, 7 minutes of the game, fortunately. So I didn't get to
everything you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you everything you need to know. You missed the beginning of the game and you missed them.
Hey, Steph.
And he started too.
Yeah. Hey, Steph. As soon as I got on, as soon as I turned, was able to, start watching the game, I think we were down like, I think 7 or 8 points. And then I saw quickly in there. So off the back, I heard that he had 2 fouls and everything. The one thing that I will say is that if you know that you're not getting a lot of playing time, and the playing time that you get, you have to shine every time. And this is like the second time that he hasn't shine. And coach wanted to win this game. Coach wanted to win this game literally. And if that meant that he was going to have to, play Burks at appointed times, that's what he was going to do. He has, Sam, you're absolutely right. He has no trust in him. Am I upset? I'm upset more at Frank, because this was his time to shine. And this was an opportunity, and it didn't happen. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in Brooklyn. I really don't. But I think this was probably his one opportunity where he had a chance to have the coach think, and he didn't do it. And coaches said, you know what? I'm just going to go with this right here. He's probably thinking maybe I should have started quickly, who looked great, but I know we'll get to him. But yeah, I think Frank blew his opportunity. And you're talking to the president of the Frank Ntilikina fan club. I think he blew his opportunity. You have to, when you get your opportunity, you have to make it shine. I know it sounds like a cliche, but when
you're right. You have
to make it shine. You're right. I'll even take Kevin Knox. You saw him hit the 3 towards the end of the game. Where was all this in the beginning of the season, where you wouldn't have to have coach think about not putting you in?
Well, he was hitting it from the beginning of the season. I think it's other things that kept him out. It's other things, not just him hitting the 3. I don't know. Well, Kev.
Here's the thing. But here's the thing, Sam. We'll probably hear tomorrow that he has a hamstring issue or something like that. That's going to be the story.
Well, he put him back in. He put him back in. I don't think it was that, because he put him back in. He put him back in later in the game. I don't know. But let me get to Andy and Kev. Whenever you want to give me that,
the vice president.
Yeah. Whenever you want to hand over that resignation letter, that presidency resignation letter, I'll have my hands open.
Take it. I'll take it, Kev. I'll take it. Don't worry.
Right. You know what? Because I believe if it's not with us, it's going to be with somebody else. I mean, he's not going to, go back to France. Somebody on the NBA and one of these NBA teams, is going to have, a place for him.
I think so, without a doubt.
It's not. I just don't think it's going to be, with us because Tibbs is. I kind of knew in the beginning of the season when he didn't talk very well. I mean, he didn't give Frank and DSJ enough praise because everyone thought that he was like one of them was going to be the starter, then one of them was going to back him up, and he's totally went the opposite, and you can see that with them, bringing on signing Alfred, for a year, and then bringing on Derrick Rose. So that means that, and then they shipped out DSJ. So right there, that's telling you that he has no confidence as a point guard for Ntilikina. Yeah. And right now, he's probably has no point guard in him as a role player at all.
Right.
That's probably
right. Let me get to Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Frank topic for me, I could be talking about Frank for hours, but just to make it short about this game, personally, I think Tibbs has a really short leash for Frank, and I think it might be the shortest from the whole team. I'm not going to go deeper into that and stuff like that, but even if you don't like Frank, and if you saw the first 5 minutes of this game, we saw Frank working on defense versus 3 OKC players in one possession. And, him getting those 2 fouls basically put him to the bench. He didn't get back because IQ was playing great. And like Steph said, he might have played his best game overall as a Knick. I mean about IQ. But, going back to Frank, I think... Frank, to be productive, he needs more minutes on the court. He's one of those players that if you're not scoring and you're not an offensive spark and you don't make shots, you need more time on the court to see to make your presence felt. That's one thing that I personally feel also. But thinking a little bit ahead, it's only one game ahead. I don't think we have any chance versus the Nets and Kyrie Irving and James Harden if we're not going to have Frank on the court. Just to be true. I don't see they're going to, it's going to be a nightmare for IQ to be guarding at least one of those guys, and he will have to because he's not going to be guarding a small forward of the Nets. So that's going to be a killer for IQ. If he's not going to get help from a Frank, from Reggie Bullock, this is going to be terrible for IQ. So, and I'm not saying that Tibbs was thinking ahead and he's like, okay, I'm going to sit Frank most of this game because he's going to be playing 45 minutes the next game. But I believe, he might have had that in the back of his mind that he might need Frank the next game more than this game. And, IQ having a great shooting night, and even on defense, he had 2 steals. Once he picked the ball from Theo Maledon, the other time he basically got hit by the ball, but it counted as a steal. So, I was so happy for him because this might have been the first time I saw him playing good defense.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy for him as well.
Yeah. And Chop, I'm going to get to you in a minute. All right. IQ. I couldn't get his name out for whatever reason. He played.
I was like, what?
I don't know. I couldn't get his name out.
Senior moment.
Right. He played really good today, and I thought against Milwaukee we started to see him try to figure out, how to really play within the offense, use other players that's on the floor, and today we seen him trying to do it even more, right? There was one time he kicked it out to RJ Barrett. I was like, perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need, right? There was one time he took the 3. He threw a pump fake, but guess what? Instead of trying to get the foul, he just went up and shot the 3, and he made it. Pump fake, dude went past him. He went up and shot the 3. And he made it. I think in previous games he would have tried to launch his body into him to get the foul. Maybe he would have gotten it, maybe he wouldn't have gotten it. But, I prefer that he just go up and shoot the ball and get the three. And then at the right opportunity, when it's time to try to get that foul, he takes the opportunity to do so. Right? So I thought that he did a good job trying to do those things. And I think what he'll recognize is that the more he does it and the more he's able to involve other people, it's going to open up the floor for him even more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because they know they know that he'll move and pass the ball around. Now that floater is wide open in the lane. And I know, and I seen people like Kev, sent the text, was like, yeah, Sin, what you saying now? Right. And whatever he said, you know what I mean? And I'm like,
now I know why you wanted me to come on, so you get me, right?
Exactly. Right. So my thing is this. He did it against OKC that had a bunch of guys that you never heard of. Okay. If Payton and Rose are out against Brooklyn, he'll get the start. I think Tom Thibodeau is at that point now where he's like, okay, I'll trust him and I'll use Alec Burks as the backup point guard. Right, so he'll get a chance to start if those guys are out. And then now we'll get to see what he can do. Defensively and, just being able to really control an offense. Now we'll get a chance to really see that. It'll be tough for him. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough because now you're thrust into prime time. You're not playing against, whoever you were playing against with OKC. You're thrust into that prime time spot. But hey, everybody wants to see him there and what it can look like. Divine, and then I'm gonna come to Steph. What do you think if he's thrust into that spot against Brooklyn? How do you think he fares?
I think he'll be fine. I mean, first of all, it's going to be definitely going to be a teaching moment for him. But I think he's a confident young man. I mean, I just really think the young man is confident about his game, and I don't see him lacking confidence nowhere, man. Even on his bad nights, you see him like this. I'm still going to shoot my shot. I'm going to try to get it. So I think again, he going there and if he got Randle or Arte playing good, he could feed off them guys. I think he had a good game against the Nets. You know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, man, Nets ain't got the best defense in the world. I mean, OKC is number 9th in the association. I don't think they'll be even close to there. So I don't know. But I give quickly a good chance against them to go out there and, especially over the last couple of games that I've seen his growth. I've seen his second half of the season starting to say, you know what, I've been in the association the first half of the season. I kind of know what the NBA is about now. I don't went through a half of it. So it seemed like he got a chance to retool, take what he learned in the first half of the season and carry it over to the second half because he done played NBA basketball for 30-something games. So I hope he just can stay consistent with it because he always had. I don't think he never had a problem with having confidence and doing the things that he do. I mean, that's the reason why he put up 31 sometime and 27 here and there. I just think he's a confident young man, and but I definitely think he can go in there and give us a good game. And I think you're going to see much more of that from Manuel quickly now that Derrick Rose and Payton's kind of, out of the rotation for him because of the injuries. That just gives him more opportunity to get more confidence and work on it, and get the shooting shot. And I definitely like the way what Steph said at the beginning of the segment that Manuel quickly played an unbelievable game today. Like she said, he wasn't forcing nothing. He was coming in the lane, and when that floater was wide open, he was throwing it. He had a high arc on it with a drop at net. So I'm definitely excited with what I see, and I do think he's going to have a good game against Brooklyn, to be honest with you.
Well, we're definitely going to need him to, Steph.
I don't know if tomorrow is the game to start him, but we may have to. I think the heat is going to be dialed up to high for a number of reasons. One, we don't have a lot of people. We're playing on. This is not ESPN, right? This is
ESPN
or NBA?
ESPN.
It's a national game. So I think it's going to be tough for him. Excuse my dog. I still want to get this point out. I think it's going to be tough for him. Listen, Kyrie is going to be in his bag no matter who is guarding him, right? So it's going to have to be team defense when it comes to Kyrie. Offensively, we're asking him to facilitate the offense, to play pretty much the way he played today against a better team. Now, defensively, they may not be a better team, but after circling around with Kyrie, on defense, is he going to be in the state of mind to now on offense, run the team? Kyrie hit you with a quick 10 points. Are you going to still be focused enough to run the team when you have the ball? We'll see. He doesn't lack for confidence, as Divine said, but I don't know if tomorrow nationally televised game is the game to start him, but we may not have a choice.
Right. We may not have a choice. And Divine, I knew you were saying like OKC has the ninth best defense in the league. That's with them having
I got you.
SGA and Amadou Diallo and whoever else out there. And then, of course, with the Nets, it's just a higher level of play overall.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it brings something different to it, just a higher level of basketball play. So we'll see what he can do. I'm hoping that he does very, very well. You know what I mean? But, we'll see what he can do with it. Let me get the Chop. Chop, you there? I never know if Chop is here or not. You know what I'm saying? Right? What's going on? I never know if Chop is here. Chop, what's going on, man? Talk to me, man. What's going on with you, bro?
There we go. Let me unmute myself. Yeah, you had to unmute me. I'm here. God bless. Listen, man. I didn't touch on what y'all was talking about earlier, but in my mind, I watched the game too, and I saw them shots that RJ took and got and made was actually in transition, where he come to the corner and it was like somebody passed it to him. He wasn't forcing it. He only forced the shots when he was getting into the paint. Am I correct?
Yeah, for the most part. And I wouldn't say he forced the shot. He just took what was available to him.
It wasn't forcing, but he was getting in the paint, and I heard Klaus said dancing and prancing. And then he said romancing. I was like, oh, he threw a new one on it. Clyde getting slick with it. He said RJ was dancing and prancing and romancing because he was getting and scoring in the paint. You see him? Right. But the shots that RJ made, them 3 points, it wasn't like he was forcing it. It was the ball was coming to him. And I saw everybody, they was playing like what do you call it? They was playing together. It was a team effort. Yo, listen, and I know you say this, and everybody say this all the time. There was a lot of times that I saw Noel's, right, butterfingers. He wasn't catching the ball. Some passes, But other than that, everybody was playing accordingly. They was playing like a real squad. You heard? Like everybody was going to get some, baby. You know what I'm saying? Shit a ball. Even your man, Alec Burke. Right, he was getting some burn. That's Alec Burke, right?
Yeah,
right? I mean, some burn. Everybody played accordingly together, and they wasn't shy of. I mean, there was a little bit when Quickly came in there. He had that little underarm thing, and they called offensive on him, the offensive foul.
Yeah, that was a corny call.
Yeah, right. But you saw. But everybody was playing together as a team, and them shots that RJ got him on the both wings. Them 3 points. Even on the other top in the mid-range, the ball was moving accordingly, and they was passing the ball, moving around. There was a little bit of some stagnant, but they looked very good. And remember, we was down, and then halftime we was up by what 2-4?
Was up by 2.5.
Then we just kept going. I was like, and I was on the phone the whole time, like, oh my God. And you know how Mama is. I was like, yo, Mama,
No doubt.
I'm trying to watch the game. And I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, son, So.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. Let me get to a super chat here. Big shout out to Ishmael Rivas. He said, great show. Salute to the panel. Said RJ in 2 years will average 23 points, 5 and 6 assists, rebounds. He'll be an all-star. The next 2 games versus the 76ers and the Nets will be telling. Yes, they will be telling. I've been hoping ever since we've seen this second half schedule that in these first 4 games, the Knicks could at least get 2. We got 1. Let's see if we're going to have a chance to get 2, when this thing is over with. If we can pull out 2 of them, That's going to be great. Great. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to remind you, please subscribe to the channel. All right, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now and ring that notification bell. Hit that like button. Smash that like button as hard as you can. Get everybody else to smash it. Share it out to whoever you can share it out to. And so subscribe right now. Let's get back to the group here. Guillermo, I know, I see you smoking the pipe. I don't know if you got anything in it, but I know you at least look like you're smoking the pipe.
I'm just here to celebrate my son's 32-point barrage. It's just it brought tears in my eyes, man. RJ Barrett grants his OKC Thunder, but 32 points. You see the maturation outside game. He's shooting threes now. He doesn't jump a lot when he shoots, but the form is a lot better. And he had to work twice because remember, if you listen to Drew Hanlon, he had to work backwards from what Pete Smart told him, which was what Drew Hanlon alluded to. So again, you're talking about a kid who's definitely coming into his own. You see him cutting down low. They use him a lot as like even though they play zone today, but they used to cut into the paint of defense and taking these contested shots down low. And then last game against the Bucks, he had the little fake with the right against Chris Middleton. I went crazy for that. But solid game overall. Again, the Knicks, we're gonna run some issues defensively, man. We feed way too much to help out in the paint. In that second half, they just could not hit any shots. OKC, and granted, they didn't have SGA, they have Amadou Diallo. I don't think Horford took many outside shots, if I recall. But again, it's like dribble drop penetration, pick and roll pass around. We always have somebody not resetting properly or getting back to the man quick enough. Is it a talent thing? It's partially a coaching, partially a coaching thing, partially a talent thing. So it is what it is. It's just we're just going to oversell on paint, defending the paint, defending that area, regardless of who we're playing, which is going to hurt us, especially against teams who could just hit from outside consistently. This next team coming up, man. Even without KD, they got that annoying player in Bruce Brown, who they actually use as a center. Or on offense, they kind of utilize him as the big man, where he'll set picks. He'll split out to the foul line, catch the ball, and throw up the floaters, kind of like how Rondo was last year in the playoffs for the Lakers. But he's just an annoyingly good player. And then you got Kyrie. You guys talk about whether it be quickly. I want them to put Frank on Kyrie just to upset him. Hopefully flashbacks to that, December 2017 game where I don't say shut him down, but he kind of got the best of Kyrie. Mm-hmm. Harden is becoming a stupid facilitator now. He's still averaging 20-some points a game. He's averaging 11 or 12 assists a game. He's really now he wants to change his game to make everyone better around him, which just gets me pissed. But this Brooklyn Nets game is just defensively they're not good per se, but I don't think we have enough wing scoring to kind of stay toe to toe with them. It'll be a challenge though, but I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this game whatsoever.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Ain't no way two ways about it. The other day against Boston, Kyrie dropped 40. He had 40 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And by them allowing Harden to be the facilitator, Kyrie can just go off. And he's maybe the best finisher in the league. You're talking about under the rim. You know what I'm saying? Who has a layup package like Kyrie? So, to allow him, he no longer has the burden of running the team. He can just get the ball and go for his. That's very dangerous because it's just not a lot of people that can guard Kyrie. He doesn't even have to blow past you. He can just, he'll just fake you out of your shoes. And
another thing I'm scared about too, I think in these past 2 games, I think that teams definitely got the scouting report on how Julius Randle is being utilized, right? You see it, they wait for him to leave his feet and they aggressively attack the passing lanes on him. They did a lot with the Bucks. DJ Augustin had 2 or 3 steals just doing that. You saw it again in this game in the first half. Julius Randle was struggling with that. Also, he's trying to force a little bit too much in the first half, get into the post position, and he took a lot of time off the clock. It's we don't have a fluid enough offense. And then even when we actually did show some fluidity, where it was a nice passing around, and then Randle drove it and got it to Nozoelo. No, it went right through Nozoelo's legs because he's just butterfingers for life. So
respect.
balloon hands.
I don't know. This Nets team, I don't think it's gonna be defensively, but we need Burks and Bullocks to give us like was it Burks had the Bulls game? Was it which game Burks went off? Was it Bulls or King? I can't remember which one. Bullock needs to hit he needs to hit like 4 for 7, 5% for outside. RJ needs to give us another 30-point game. Randall, that's how we're gonna beat him. The same way the Spurs almost beat him with, you have to stay toe-to-toe scoring wise because you can't defend. You just really can't defend them adequately, even without KD. So,
or you gotta hope they miss shots.
Right. And I mean, and it's just tough for them guys to, they can miss shots the entire game and they still got guys that can, just turn it on when they need to turn it on. So, it just makes it so tough to defend them. And they
got Blake now too.
And now they got Blake coming off the bench that can give them something. So it's going to be very hard to defend these guys. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets, I'm coming to you, Kev. Defensively, the Nets, they give up 113 points per game, right? Now, the question is going to be, are we going to be able to score 113? And if we can score 113, which we might be able to, are we going to be able to keep them, below 120? So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one. And I know the Knicks are going to be, I don't remember what happened the last time we played them.
Kevin Durant.
Destroyed on the boards.
Kevin Durant. That's what happened.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. That's true. Kevin Durant. But, the story of the game, I had to look back and really see the story of the game. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, what I was going to say was to Andy's point, Frank does have to play in that game. And you need all length because if you put enough length on Kyrie to disrupt him, I think he can, come down to earth a little bit.
Come down to earth.
But the main thing,
I think he's on earth.
Come down somewhat.
This is what he does on earth. I think he's on earth.
Well, to make it okay, then to
prevent him from levitating.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly. All hands on deck. That's basically what it is. They got to take great. They can't take good shots. I'm talking about the Knicks. We can't take good shots. We have to take great shots, and we just lock down on on the defensive end. So everyone's just going to have to really play his game. But I would love to see what Quickly can do against these guys. Like you said, they're not great defensively, so we could, we pretty much get, whatever we want. I know Randall and RJ can. So,
So the last time
it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, the last time we played him, KD was playing. He had 26 points, 6 assists, but he really turned it on, when he had to. Let me see. Kyrie, James Harden, neither one of those guys played. Jeff Green had 11 points, 4 rebounds. DeAndre Jordan had 9 points, 12 rebounds. Bruce Brown had 15 points and 14 rebounds. They had a lot of guys contribute. Landry Shamet, he had 13 points. Reggie Perry. I remember looking like, who the hell is this guy? Reggie Perry had 11 points and 5 rebounds. Cabaret, however you say, he had 13 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. We had some guys play. We lost 116 to 109. Obviously, they weren't at full strength. RJ Barrett had 20. Julius Randle had 30 points, 5 assists, and 7 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson, who we won't have, he had 10 points and 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. Emmanuel Quickly had 19 points. Kevin Knox had 13 points. We did. Austin Rivers played that game. Austin Rivers played 33 minutes that game.
Oh, God.
Okay, he had 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So, it's definitely going to look different on our end.
Did Burks play that game? Burks
didn't play that game, nor did Reggie Bullock.
Oh, wow.
Reggie Bullock was out, so Reggie Bullock didn't play that game either. Obi Toppin, I think this was his first game back. He barely didn't play. He played like a minute. I think it was his first game back. So it's gonna look different. It's gonna look different because Reggie Bullock could be back. Alec Burks would be back playing. We probably won't have Derrick Rose. We may not have Elfrid Payton. Austin Rivers isn't going to play. So it's going to look different.
It's like this, Sim. It's like this. If Frank has a bounce back, I mean, if he uses him, I could see Reggie Bullock on Harden, and I could see Frank on Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I can look at it. Realistically, that's the way that I can look at it.
Right. I mean, I think you got to use Frank. I don't know. I think you got to use Frank. The issue with Frank being out there is against Kyrie. Is does he make Kyrie work on the other side of the ball? But I mean, you got to use Frank. I think.
Yeah.
He's a good defender. You're gonna need some defenders out there.
You figure if for this OKC game, if SGA was playing, I think Frank would have been used more.
It's hard to say. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could have been. It could have been.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes, man.
But in the fact that they really didn't have that, OKC really didn't have anyone that was on the level as SGA. I think that was one of the reasons why he also didn't use Frank as much. But he's going to have to use him in this one. This one he's going to have to use him.
Right.
But it's a dangerous thing. They're going to be playing Kyrie a lot more off the ball, which last time when Frank played him, he was like the lead guy on the ball. Even that game where Kyrie killed us for 28 points and he hit that shot on RJ Barrett, he was a lot on the ball. He played the wrong way because when Kyrie's on the ball, he could be very tunnel vision, right? And that works to your favor. You want to take bad, poor shots, and get the shots away from everybody else. The dangerous thing is that now you have to play more ball. And I'm sorry, this Knicks team, we just have poor communication away from the ball a lot of times. And then if you have a situation where Kyrie Irving's the last guy getting the ball after it, gets around, 2 or 3 guys, many times we don't reset properly.
When you mean bad communication, do you mean we're not talking?
Well, bad communication as in like there's confusion as to who has who off of a pick or who's supposed to reset back onto the right guy. You know what I mean? It's just bad execution. They might be saying the right things. Either way, it's bad execution regarding resetting. So having Frank on Kyrie, they're probably going to throw so many picks to get Kyrie off of Frank. And the thing about it too is that we're on the coincidental list, man. We're not supposed to be here. So I'm more convinced. I know it's conspiracy theory time, but I'm more convinced that we're just not going to get the call, especially on an ESPN game where they're trying to elevate a Nets team over us. I just feel like, it might be one of those games where, they'll take Frank out, the refs and how Kyrie Irving plays, they'll take him out. Granted, you see Frank trying to reset after 2 or 3 picks, get back on the Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving might get the ball, see him coming and, throw that foul or, it'll be ticky-tack. So he has to be really careful, but it might be harder, versus last time. Now, IQ on Kyrie, I'm not too sure about that because Kyrie does have some post-up moves, even though he's not powerful. He's just really crafty. But I can see a bad game. So I would just probably use Frank to start out just to try to defend him, harass him as much as possible, even playing off the ball. See how many fouls you could, you get with Frank, and then obviously you have to go to your bench with IQ. But yeah, it's going to be a trying game for Frank as well too. This team is they're just stupid on offense.
It's going to be tough. They average 121 points per game, by the way. Go ahead, Andy.
Just to add to the Frank thing, it for me, it doesn't matter if we put Frank on Harden or on Kyrie. I don't see any other Knicks player with the ability to disrupt an offense like Frank can. It's like none of our defenders can do that. And with Harden and Kyrie being able both to be the lead guy, the guy that's going to create and play make for them, we got to have Frank out there. You know, and I'm telling you guys, this is going to be a horror for if we want to lose IQ's confidence, just start him and just let him be playing versus Kyrie or Harden on defense. That's
So you don't believe in throwing him in the fire? You don't believe in,
bro? Not versus Kyrie and
let's
Harden.
Put it like this, Kev. Kyrie Irving is going to look and see a rookie across from him,
bro,
and he's going to pull out his knife and his fork and his napkin and tuck into his jersey and be ready to go. You know what I mean? That, you know, and although Frank is young, I think he maybe at least has a little bit of respect for Frank's defense.
Yeah.
And we saw Frank in the past giving problems to Harden, and you know, I know Harden scored over 30 on him. But, you know, he disrupted him the best he could. And none of the players on the Knicks would do that kind of job on Harden or on Kyrie. So, you know, that's the only thing. And I'm not vouching him for playing 40 minutes, whatever. I'm just telling you guys that, you know, defense of Frank and IQ, you just can't compare the two things versus guys like IQ and Harden. That's going to be a horrible move, and we're going to lose IQ's confidence if we put him versus, you know, players like that. That might be two of the best players, you know, as playmaking, you know, in an all-star team, because we got to call the Nets an all-star team. Those guys are all buyout team. You know, I'm just waiting for Drummond to join him, and they're going to have like 5 all-stars starting. So,
Andy, can I ask you this, though? Can I ask you this? Because I agree with you defensively. He might get destroyed, right? But, you know, if it came down to it, because, again, they're not a good offensive rebounding team, right? So, if you have a game where, granted, I don't bet on it, they miss a lot of shots. You know, we talk about a confidence thing. You could have assumed the same thing with, say, the Blazers game, but IQ did show out, right? You know, he took that step. And granted, look, you getting killed by Kyrie could ruin your confidence if they draw fouls, stuff like that. But if he did come out hot against a guy like Kyrie or even Harden, who just they're not great defenders, I mean, could it flip the other way where IQ has that type of game? It's kind of.
It could.
I would say carrying the offense, but he's attacking Kyrie. I'm just saying, because I watch IQ. Granted, I see games where, you know, when Knox loses confidence, I think it's different from when IQ loses confidence. IQ came back. Damn, I can't remember which game it was, and we played a crappy team, and it was back to, you know, throwing to the floater, shooting a 3. Right? I just don't see his guys' confidence wavering like that. Maybe play quarter, but I don't see it like, all right, I had a bad game. Now the next 3 games are going to be bad, like a Knox, where it's just, you know, he's kind of running with his head cut off. You know,
I'm just alluding, Guillermo. I was alluding to the thing that Steph was saying, that if they're gonna make him work hard on defense, he's not gonna have the power and the push on offense. He's gonna be thinking that he has to watch already, you know, because Kyrie or Harden might, you know, run out for a fast break or whatever. So he's gonna be thinking on the defense way too much compared to what he's doing now. Because on the offense, you know, he can take shots, and you know, the shot selection not my favorite, but he can take those shots, right? So, you know, they're gonna have a problem with IQ on offense. Meanwhile, Frank, he doesn't have the opportunities on offense, so that's not gonna hurt anything from him. He just runs to the corner and he stands there. So, you know,
I'm not too sure about that.
But that's gonna keep them fresh, though. You want Kyrie to work too.
That's fair enough, but the Blazers game, the Blazers went off in the first half, and that was with IQ playing some minutes in the second rotation, and IQ went off in the second half. So I think that might be a little bit overblown because look, IQ struggles with being his man off the dribble, right? He's not good ISO 1-on-1, right? But if you're saying constant picks on him, and again against guards who just, you know, aren't good defensively, especially with Kyrie Irving, you know what I mean? I could see, not to say it won't waver, but I think we're kind of feeding way too much in this, you know, he has to do some. I think he's just the same way on offense where it's like, all right, you know, if I'm not doing well, Tibbs will take me out anyway, whatever. And he's had some bad shooting games, but he's the same kind of, all right, I'm going to take my threes. I'm going to try to get into rhythm. I'm going to use a pick and roll, try to get the float off. And if that game is working for him, I could see him trying to use that even more to his advantage against a guy like, I don't see him as a big game kind of flopper in the sense of that his confidence wavers and it's like, oh man, I missed a few shots. I think he's looking at like, oh, Dame, you want some? All right, fair enough. Now I'm being a foul line. It's a 5-point game with 3 left to go, and I got 31 points, something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I see IQ's game. Is it flawed? Yeah, but the confidence thing I think is is not there per se. Now, do I want Franco and Kyrie? Yeah, you're damn right I want Franco and Kyrie, but I just don't see that with quickly.
I mean, I think that, part of, when he's had good games against some good guards, it helped him coming off the bench, that he didn't start out the game against them. He was able to get in. He's playing a couple minutes. Maybe they were out while he was playing a couple minutes, and then they got back in the game. Say Dame Lillard got back in the game, but now he's already comfortable in the game. I think that would help him out a little bit. But at some point, if you're going to find out if this kid can be a starter, he's going to have to start up against some of these guys. At some point.
You're going to have to throw him in the fire.
At some point.
I just don't want fans to be using Josh's, escape line when someone's going to be, Josh's escape line is, the Knicks just didn't have it from the beginning. So we no matter who would play, we're going to lose. So right. I just don't want to see IQ being like 2 for 12 or 2 for 15. And we're going to be like, he just didn't make the shot. So that's why we lost.
Yeah, I don't want that. And you know what? All of this could be null and void, because if Elfrid Payton is healthy, he's going to be starting. Right. And to go up against Kyrie.
I would love to see the stats of Peyton against Kyrie. I'd love to see those, stats.
He's never was going to outscore Kyrie, but when you listen to Tom Thibodeau talk, one of the reasons why he starts Elfrid Payton, or if Derrick Rose was there, he would start Derrick Rose, is because these guys have been up against the Kyries and the Dame Lillards and whoever before. They know their tendencies and they understand the things that they like to do, and he's comfortable with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think if Elfrid Payton, if his hamstring allows him to play, I think he'll probably be starting.
Right.
So all of this could be null and void anyway, because he'd be starting, and IQ and Frank could be coming off the bench, which for both of those guys may even be the best way to go about it. Let Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock handle the starting duties, and them two guys come off the bench and, ease themselves into the game. May be the best thing for both of them, in this matchup. So I guess we'll see.
What is it about these hamstrings? I mean, it's like someone gets a hamstring and they're out for like a few games. I can say I've never had an injury.
Yeah, man.
Say again.
It's a tricky injury. It's not like you can do an MRI and you can say, okay, it's 99% or it's 100%. Just don't warm it up, well before the game, and you can get re-injured and re-aggravated. So, and with the same thing with the groin. No, you just can't measure the severance of the injury. So
right, because with a hamstring, you could feel like you're good, and then all of a sudden you explode off your leg, and bam, you feel it tighten up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's very tricky. I've had a hamstring, and once I think, because I had a hamstring injury. And I still played throughout my season, but I was hampered throughout the entire season. And I've had issues with that hamstring ever since I pulled the hamstring. Then I got to do extra stretches on my leg. I got to use icy hot before the game even starts, just to make sure that it's loose. I got to take a roller and roll it out to make sure it's loose. And when I'm playing in the game, I can start to feel it tighten up sometimes. Yeah, sometimes once you get one, you may not ever fully heal from it. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. I do want to go around and get everybody's prediction. Just a quick salute to everyone and your prediction of the game versus Brooklyn. And then I'm heading out. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell if you have not subscribed. And be notified whenever I go live. And you can do that right now. Andy?
Yeah, I predict us getting a W versus the Nets.
Okay, let's go. Let's get it.
And I'm not gonna ever use Josh's escape line that we will lose no matter what.
Not for this
no matter
game.
who we played.
Steph?
I don't think we're going to get this one. I hope Peyton is able to play. That'll help our chances. But I don't think we're going to get this one. But I think we're going to play well. I think they know they're on national television, so I don't think it's going to be a San Antonio effort. I think it's going to be a LA Clipper effort. So I'm not worried about that, but I just don't think we're going to get this one.
Yeah. Divine?
Can't hear you.
You got yourself muted, Divine.
I'm sorry.
There
I
you
said
go.
I know what the consensus is, but I'm going upset. I believe the Knicks defense come and play like they always play. We get them same contribution from the guys who play. I know it's a different level, but if we can get the same contribution from Reggie Bullock and Alex Burton quickly tomorrow, I'm going upset the next day. Not tomorrow, but the day after, I'm going upset.
Okay. All right. Josh?
So the Knicks defense is designed really to force the other team to take long jump shots and take them early in the shot clock. And the Nets do that. They shoot from the three very well, and they shoot early in the shot clock. And that's Steve Nash, Mike D'Antoni, 6 seconds or less, whatever it is. I am going to say the game goes into overtime. I think the Knicks' first overtime game of the season, and the Nets win 135 to 132.
135. Whew. A lot of points. You know what? 135 to 132. All right. Kev, I'm coming to you, Kev.
I think we win the game by 5. I think, again, all hands will be on deck. I think we're going to have a great effort. And I don't believe that I believe that Randle has shaken off the rust, and I think RJ is going to have a solid game. I think it's going to be a solid effort by everyone, and I think we'll win by 5. And that'll be the upset. And if we can get this one and get the Philly one next, we're going to get another small break because I don't think Embiid is playing in the Philly game. So it's a chance for us to show the world that we mean business. I mean, they gave us a hard schedule in the beginning, and we went through that. We were over 500, and then they thought they could do it again, and we're a game over 500 again. Let's shock the world.
Okay. All right. All right. And Guillermo.
Sorry about that. I think it might be a loss. They shoot just too good from outside. Again, we allow way too many 3-pointers from outside. That selling out to the paint defense is just it's not. I don't even think it's the right game today for the Nets because again, DeAndre Jordan is not a guy who's going to post up and kill you from inside the pick and roll offense. I'm not sure how good it is with this. Probably good with the Nets. But again, I just see them barraging from outside. Patton, Bruce Brown, Reggie Perry, even from the bench, they killed last time. But this time, obviously, Harden. I just see a tough game. I don't see us winning this game. Development for some other players. I think RJ Barrett can have a good game. I even think Randle can have a good game. But again, they are playing the passing lanes on Randle a lot better in the second half, even at the end of the first half. This season, there's some games where it's like they're starting to catch on to him leaving his feet and then trying to get out to the guys outside. And again, we don't have the wing production from Burks or Bullocks on a consistent basis. I know we look at the percentages; it says one thing, but in these big games, they kind of sink, especially guys like Burks. So I just don't even think we go toe to toe with them. But we'll see. But I think it might be a loss. I guess it is.
Yeah,
Ye of little faith. Ye of little faith.
It's not about faith, man. It's about execution.
Listen.
About keeping it real.
I think
little faith.
God doesn't care about basketball. I carried a Bible in 1999 against the Spurs, and we got mollywop. So God doesn't care too damn about basketball. So
I think that I think we're gonna play hard, and we're going to maybe even be in it for 3 quarters. But I just don't think we're going to have enough in the fourth quarter to match their offensive firepower. You know, and you know, I think maybe we'll play a good game, and it might look something like it looked against the Clippers.
Right.
You know, and plus with Derrick Rose and Mitchell Robinson being out, to me, that's just a lot that's out. You know, with the length of Mitchell Robinson, you know, he helps provide that vertical spacing that we haven't seen in a while. And I know Nerlens Noel has been playing well for us. You know, playing defense and battling with guys. You know what I'm saying? But we missed something on that offensive end without Mitchell Robinson. Even though he only scores 8 points, we still missed something because the threat of that alley-oop can cause a defense to collapse. So I do think we missed something there. And then, of course, Derrick Rose. You got Derrick Rose for games like this, right? Because he has experience going up against these guys, because he feels like he matches these guys talent for talent. You need another guy that matches them, that at least feels like matches them. And I think we're missing a little bit, right? You know, with this. And in this game, the Knicks are a team that, let me say, in games like this, against teams like this, the Knicks are still finding and searching and figuring out who they are. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's like when you're playing a game and you see someone who you know you're going up against this kid and you're like, this guy's not really confident. I'm going at him hard, and I'm going to take his confidence away in this game because he's not sure if he can compete with me yet. And I don't think the Knicks are sure fully of themselves yet. And they're supposed to be not sure of themselves because, you know, of the situation that they're in. That's how they learn and grow and become a better team. So I think the Knicks lose.
So, Sam, what you just said, when do you think we will know who we are? Do you think it'll take the whole year, or do you think
after the first playoff win, Kev?
Later?
I think it takes. Let's put it like this: the Knicks are a team we've never won. This team has never won more than 3 straight. Right now, we've had a good stretch of wins, but we haven't been able to even string together a good set of wins yet. I think when we string together a good set of wins and our confidence can really ride high, you know, now we go into a game really feeling like we can take these guys out. I think right now, because we're so up and down, they're just not fully sure of themselves. And when they see holes, they can see the holes in their own defense and things that they do on offense. So I think it takes all of those things coming together where they finally hit that point where, you know what? I mean, there's always going to be holes in your defense, but they know why that hole is there and they know how to fix it and they can fix it. And the same thing on offense, you know, where they see what a team did to them, they can make those adjustments during the game. You know, there's not a question on whether or not Julius Randle or RJ Barrett or one of another third guy is going to come to show up. You know, they're just going to be there solid, you know, and then you get to that point where they feel like, okay, yeah, we really are here right now. We can take one of these guys down. And then you get in a tussle. Maybe the first time you lose, maybe the second time you lose, and then finally you beat them. And now you know in your heart, we can take these guys out. You know, so it takes that back. It takes growing like that as a team.
So let me ask you this. So we've played the Nets before. Now, I know it's going to be drastically different because now you have 2 All-Stars instead of, you know, 1. But we've played them before, and we know a little bit of what their supporting cast can do. So that's why I'm thinking that, you know, since we played them before, that, you know, that we could come out, you know, with a victory. That's what I'm.
They're a different team, and we're a different team since that game.
Right. We haven't played them before. We haven't played them. No, I mean, but we haven't played them. You know what I'm saying? Really. I mean, they had KD, no Kyrie, no James Harden, no Blake Griffin.
That's great. At the time, they just had made that trade.
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 new players that we haven't seen. This is a different team.
Okay.
You know, so it's totally different. And I don't know if you guys got time, but I am going to, you know, I'd like to listen to Tom Thibodeau. If you don't have time, you got to get off. I understand. But I just want to listen to a little bit of Tom Thibodeau. Steph, appreciate you.
No, appreciate you too. Appreciate the panel, the chat. Is there going to be a shoot around tomorrow, or are we going for Monday?
No, I'm gonna just go for Monday. I'm gonna take it easy tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.
All right. This is Tom Thibodeau on tonight's game, and I guess even tomorrow's game. He said, if we're us, feel like they can beat anybody.
Hi, everyone. Coach is here. If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll bring you into the room. Amanda Hajar, Knicks Digital.
Coach, just what can you say about the team's effort after the first quarter coming out a little slow? What did you see that changed and allowed them to go off, especially RJ and Julius?
Yeah, they're our leaders. I thought they stepped up, set the tone for us. Obviously, we started the game slowly. That was a big concern, particularly with the early start. But we responded well after that. And then I thought we played strong in the second half. I thought our willingness to share the ball, once we got our defense going, it got us into the open floor. We were able to get some good scoring opportunities.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom, just the decision. I know Frank started the game and got some fouls, and then he didn't come back. Did you see a lot of great stuff from Emmanuel, and you just wanted to
Yeah, and again, and I thought we needed everyone's minutes, and I pretty much going into the game, I didn't know who we would have. So we mapped it out with Frank and Quick and Alec, and I thought that was Alec's first time really handling the ball, running the point. And I thought he did a terrific job for us as well. So, and that's what I like about all those guys, the versatility of the group. It gives you a lot of options. And then, of course, defensively, I thought initially, we had gotten beat off the dribble, and we had to change our stance a little bit just to contain the ball better. And once we figured that out, I thought Reggie was fantastic. Alec was great. Taj gave us great minutes. Nerlens gave us the rim protection. We had a lot of guys step up and just find a way to win. It's hard to win on the road. They're very good at putting the ball on the floor. You have to have great body position. Then you got to fly around.
Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Tom. Somebody who has, appreciation for Knicks history, is it pretty cool to hear that Julius is the first Knick since Mark Jackson to have 2 triple-doubles in a season over 30 years ago?
Mark Jackson did that?
Yeah. Yep.
Mark, who's a great talent, great Knick, great guy too. I think it is a little surprising, but Julius had a monster game. Like to score the way he did, the assist, the all-around play, and I think that's what leaders do. In this season, the numbers speak for themselves, but his impact on winning has been huge, and his leadership has been terrific. And so I am surprised by that stat, but it's a pretty good company to be in.
Barbara Barker, Newsday.
Hey, Tom, how important was it for you to bounce back and have a win like this, considering you're going in, you're playing 2 tough teams next, and just to bounce back from what had happened in Milwaukee?
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge of the season. It's a long year, and you can't take and carry over what happened in one game to the next. You have to learn from it, and when we lose, that's what I want us to do. I want us to learn and move it forward and get ready for the next one. And they all count the same. So this is a game that you're coming into OKC. It's an early start, and it's a critical game. You have to be ready for it. So you want to build those habits right from the start of the season, knowing that you're going to go through all different kinds of situations, and being ready to play is a big part of winning in this league. And so I think the way our guys responded, they've been very good in practice all year. Obviously, we were disappointed with the way we played in Milwaukee, and we wanted to make good today.
We have time for 3 more questions. Peter Body, New York Post.
Tom, career high 32 for RJ today. Just what have you seen in his game these last several games, and especially the confidence in his 3-point shot lately?
Yeah, well, I think I mentioned this earlier, the extra work that he's been putting in for quite a while now, and it carried over onto the break for him. He did a great job over the All-Star break, getting away, but he worked on his game each and every day. And I think his confidence has come from his preparation. He's shooting the ball really well. He's getting downhill. He's finishing well. He made a great play, a great rim read, and a spray out to Julius in the corner. And so he's reading the game really, really well. And the game tells you what to do. So when he comes off on a pick and roll, to know what his options are, know the progression of the play, know how to read the defense, and either when you come off, you're the first option, and if the second defender's there, spray it out, make the right read.
Mike Vorkunov, The Athletic.
Hey, Tom. RJ's counting numbers per game haven't gone up dramatically from last season, but it seems like his efficiency has. What to you have you seen kind of the difference in him scoring this year versus last year, but doing it more efficiently?
I think, for any young player coming into the league, and I've mentioned this before, I think we tend to measure them against other players, and you can't do that. And there's always a progression to this, and trial and error is a big part of learning. So I think having gone through last year, he learned a lot. I think he moved it forward. He had a good summer, and he continues to grow. He's a great worker. He's got a great approach, a great attitude. And those are usually the type of players that will continue to improve. But when you look back at the great players in the league, there's a progression to it. They don't all of a sudden just start off being great. And, I've had several players, over the years that each year they've gotten better. And I think RJ will be one of those guys. And I love what Julius is doing. It's 7 years in, and he's still getting better. So you hate to put a ceiling on any player. If they have the right approach and they don't get distracted and they stay focused, they should continue to improve.
Last question, Mark Berman.
Did you see any effects of the groin injury to Manuel today? And also, just with Julius, do you think he took the other night really personally and really wanted to have a big bounce back today?
The Emmanuel question, I trust Emmanuel. I trust our medical staff. So they did a great job in getting him ready for the game. And that's all you can do is as long as he's doing all the things that he needs to do in terms of rehab and his correctives. And if he feels good enough and they feel confident that he can play, we want him to play. So he did a terrific job. He was excellent throughout the game. The Julius piece, he's a very prideful player. There's no player in this league that's going to play great for all 82 games. I love the resolve that he has to come back, to be ready to go, and to set the tone for us. Spoke volumes as to his leadership, but that's who he is as a player and as a person.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tom Thibodeau. He always skirts around the answers when people ask him how come this guy didn't play that kind of didn't play. He just kind of skirts around and says, I like that this guy did that, this guy did that, which is a good thing. He doesn't throw his people under the bus. The Nets are going to be on the second half of a back-to-back, so we'll see if that has any effect on if they decide to sit players or anything like that. They do some things like that. Anyway, I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys. Anything you guys want to say in response to what you heard from Tom Thibodeau?
Keep it up, Coach.
Yeah. Right. He pretty much nailed it. What I thought, we had in the earlier segment about RJ. He pretty much hit the nail right on the head with everything, man. His maturation, his hard work. But I'm excited, guys. Tomorrow night, man. If y'all not doing nothing, I'm gonna go on at 8:30 on the night show. Y'all welcome to come in and join the chat. And tomorrow I drop on Twitter or something the link and everything because I didn't build a thing yet, but I will tomorrow. But I shoot it on StreamYard and everything tomorrow. If y'all welcome to come on tomorrow night at 8:30 if you want some more Knicks talk.
And Guillermo, you got what you got coming up next?
These coaches are never going to tell you anything. So
yeah, I mean,
what it is.
What do you have coming up next? I know you got something.
Oh crap, my bad. Oh crap, sorry. I think it's talking about Tom Thibodeau. I was going to do a breakdown of Nets. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Probably sometime in the afternoon. and then cover the game on Monday. But yeah, it's mostly going to be chill with the Nets and just show some slides or something like that.
All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. Make sure you go check them both out. Knicks Real Talk leads in the Knicks. They're going to be on in the next couple of days. So if you're not subscribed, go subscribe to the channels so that you can get those notifications, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Be peaceful. And play knocks over Obi. That's all. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. Be peaceful. Spread love. We out.